What is going on, everyone? We are back in our Bears franchise in Madden 17, and it is time for the most exciting part of the offseason, the NFL Draft. Now, before we start the draft, we're going to take a look here at the free agency recap, and we're going to see here that there are still a lot of good players. This is what I said at the end of the last episode. Marquise Lee still out there, so that's someone we maybe look at once we get through the draft. I'm not very comfortable with the wide receiver options here in the draft. It's not a very good class. Still some solid centers there. If that doesn't work out, and then Lamarcus Joyner did not get signed, so if we don't come up with any corners in the draft, we can look there as well. Then also strong safety, more than enough options for us if we want to upgrade our backup strong safety. Now in the draft, we have 2 first-rounders, we have a second-rounder, we have a third-rounder, we have 2 fourths, 2 fifths, no 6th-rounder, and then a 7th-rounder. So we have a lot of picks to work with. And then even looking ahead to next year, we have 2 2nd-rounders in next year's draft. So we have got a lot to work with here today. We have a couple positions of need. Most importantly, center is that number one thing we're looking at there. That is what we're going to try and address here in the first round. And you can take a look at the draft board. We have a couple left tackles at the top. That would be, I don't know if either of those guys are going to fall to us, but left tackle is not as much of a position as need as center is. But you can see as we go down here, 13 is where we're going to be picking first. But the guys we're looking at are going to be down here at 25 and 26. These 2 centers, the only really good center option. So I'm thinking hopefully at least one of these guys is available for our pick at 13. If not, then we're going to have to think of something else. But we'll see what's available to us. For now, let's just start going through the draft here. And the 49ers selecting first are going to take a halfback. That's an interesting pick there with the 2 left tackles at the top of the draft. But they feel they need to fill that need. Left tackle is going to go to the Dolphins at 2. Defensive end is going to go to the Steelers at 3. Next up is going to be the Raiders at 4. So far, no surprises here. Middle linebacker going to the Raiders. There's 4 middle linebackers graded in the first round, so the first one's going to go there. That's another position we can maybe go with if it doesn't turn out with center. Redskins go outside linebacker. Titans are going to go cornerback, so there's the first cornerback off the board. Ravens here at 7 are going to go halfback. So 2 halfbacks in the first 7 picks. That's interesting. Lions here are going to go with a free safety. So still no center so far, which is good to see. Right tackle goes number 9, although I guess shouldn't really see a center going in the top 10 picks, so I guess that's pretty good. Another right tackle goes at 10 to the Bills. Now just a couple picks before ours. Wide receiver goes to the Eagles, so one more pick. It's going to be Green Bay, and they are going to take a middle linebacker. So here we go. You can see the guys that are on our watch list that are available. Left tackle, right tackle. A little bit intrigued by that right tackle there, but ultimately I have the feeling that center is that one position on both sides of the ball that I'm really, really not liking. I'm uneasy about. I would like to upgrade, and hopefully one of these 2 guys will fill that need. Looking at middle linebacker or even wide receiver, I don't feel comfortable taking a wide receiver in the first round. I don't really see any prospects there that really blow me away. This middle linebacker does look pretty good. 3 of the 4, I think, middle linebackers graded in the first round looked really good, but ultimately, I don't think we can turn down an opportunity to get the best center in the draft. Now we just got to make sure we pick the right one. So first up is Matt Strickland, B pass block, C plus impact, and run block. His combine report is pretty good, but this guy here, Brennan Putzier, has B plus pass block, B run block, and then C plus impact block. So he has better attributes, had the better combine grade. So ultimately, I'm going to trust the numbers here, even though sometimes they do kind of screw us, but I'm going to trust it. I'm going to take Brennan Putzier, and let's please hope he's good. Oh my gosh, is he good? Number 1 overall in true talent in the entire draft, superstar development. Boy, did we luck out here. 85, 86 run block, pass block, 79 impact block. 81 overall immediately becomes an upgrade at center. And our offensive line just got even better. We just signed Lyle Collins in free agency. Our offensive line, we've accomplished our goal we had for the offseason. We improved the offensive line. That's an amazing pick. I think we just got really lucky. Jets go wide receiver. Giants go right tackle. Texans go D tackle. Colts go wide receiver, middle linebacker. There goes that middle linebacker to the Saints. Rams at 19 go outside linebacker. Panthers are going to go left tackle. Bengals are going to go wide receiver. Jaguars here at 22 will go right tackle. So a lot of linemen getting taken here in this first round. And there goes the center at 23 to Tampa Bay. So we could not have waited until our pick at 27. They would have been gone probably before they made it to us. Quarterback goes to the Patriots. So it looks like they have given up already on Jimmy Garoppolo. Cowboys here at 26 are going to take a left guard. So here we are with our second pick in the first round. Before we look at the players, let's take a look at the trade offers. We got a first, a fourth, and a fifth from the Bengals. And first, second, and fourth from the Seahawks. That is not a bad option. As you saw earlier, we have 2 second-round picks next year. If we could grab a third second-rounder, Patriots offering the same thing, but that fourth-rounder is in 19 as well. We might have to think about trading. That is a really, really good offer. So first, let's take a look at who's available. We got a wide receiver here, and still, even in the second round, I don't feel good about taking a wide receiver in the second round. We do not need a wide receiver that badly. Defensive end, we signed Rashid Hageman, so we really don't. And actually, that guy's a 4-3 run stopper. I'm not even sure why I have him on my watch list. But tight end, we don't really need anymore. Halfback, I don't want to take a halfback in the second round. I feel like that's way too early. As good as that power back looks, I think that's way too early. And then we already get into the third rounders. So you know what? And even looking at the scouted, look at how this draft class really isn't that great. Look at how many reds you see for those guys. And even available, there's a corner, but am I going to take a corner sight unseen in the second round? I feel like that a little bit too much a risk. So you know what? This offer is so good. I'm going to forego taking our second first-round pick, and we are going to pick up a first, a second, and a fourth this year. And that is pretty darn good. So already our draft next year is loaded. Looking forward. Hopefully it's a better class next year. So cornerback going to go to the Seahawks. Wide receiver goes to the Chargers. Quarterback goes to the Broncos. Left tackle to the Seahawks. And then the Falcons are going to take a quarterback. That was the one quarterback we had on our watch list for the longest time. And then Chiefs for the final pick of the first round are going to take an outside linebacker. So now we'll move ahead to our next pick at number 59, 27th in the second round. And this is what we have available to us. No one really good at the top. I can see why that first rounder is still there because he's graded out as undraftable. Scouted, it does not look any better. There's one halfback there. And looking at our watch list, we have the halfback, still second round. Don't know if I want to take one in the second round. Actually, I just realized I was talking about our last pick like it was the second round. That was still the first round. This is the second round. I don't know if I want to take a halfback in the second round. So what else is here? We got cornerback, tight end, free safety. Really, the only position here of need is going to be corner, so we might look at that corner. Power back, I mean, with the halfbacks we already have, I feel like halfback is something we'll take maybe later on if we can, 5th or 6th round. But Malik Craig here, B- for zone coverage, C+ man. The first 40-yard dash, the fastest corner in the draft, which kind of intrigues me a little bit because I feel like even if he doesn't have the greatest coverage ratings, maybe he'll just be really, really quick. Maybe we can use him as a returner or something. But you know what? This is the only real guy. I don't want to make another trade. I want to start making some of these picks. We didn't have a lot of picks last year, so let's try and take a chance. He's also 6'4". I didn't realize that. 6'4", 214. So you know what? Let's take him. And look at this. He's a 76, 14th in true talent. We get him at 59, just the normal development, which is okay. But 95 speed, 93 acceleration, 78, 80 for his cover, which actually isn't that bad for being, what were those, B-? I'm going to take that. Play recognition isn't great, but you know what? I think that's a pretty good pick. So I say we're 2 for 2 so far, maybe 3 for 3 if you include that awesome trade that we've made. Now on to the third round, and we are just a couple picks later because we have the second pick in the third round. And here it's kind of more of the same, and obviously it's not going to change a whole lot in a matter of, 6 or 7 picks. So you can see we got halfbacks, and that other halfback we were looking at is now gone. He got taken, I think actually the pick just before us. So looking here, we're into the fourth rounders here. We got some guards. I mean, we would still like to work on the offensive line, but you know what? I go into the trades just to see, and we've got a couple of decent, look at this, a second and a third rounder from the Bengals. That's just crazy. And you know what? I can't pass this up. I know we're absolutely stockpiling picks next year, but we maybe can use these later on to try and pick up some other players. Maybe make a trade in the preseason. Someone did suggest that after the last episode to try and make a trade for Odell Beckham, but whatever. We're going to make the trade. We'll hold on to those picks for now. We'll see what we do later. Now we move on. Fourth round. We have the 10th pick in the fourth round. We have 2 fourth rounders, 2 fifth rounders, so we still have some picks to make here. And actually, this is kind of the sweet spot because a lot of the guys I have on my watch list here are in this 5th, 6th round. So let's see. We got corner. We've already solved our corner issue. We need a backup strong safety. We need some backup guards, which there is a guy there, Jamal Johnson, but Roby Barker is a guy there, Josh Womack. But looking at Barker, he's got a 7.2 combine grade, B hit power, C+ tackle, and he's 6'4", 214, another big guy. Has some pretty good combine grades, 10th fastest. He's third and second in the 3-cone. And you know what? Let's try and take a chance on this one. Doesn't really turn out. 69 overall, 125th in true talent. So we reached a little bit. 86 speed, 75 zone coverage isn't bad. 76 tackle. Play recognition is awful. Hit power is okay. So that one is a little so-so. We're not going to hit all of these out of the park. It's kind of hard to judge some of these, but you know what? I think he still is an upgrade over the strong safety we have there as the backup, Javon Curse. So we're going to go with that. Next up is going to be our second, fourth rounder. Here we're looking at this left tackle. I'm going to take him, Ilias McDaniels. Here is actually going to be a good pick. He's ranked 117th, 76-77 for his blocking, 83 impact block, which is really good. But actually, maybe most fortunately so far, none of these guys are slow development. They're normal development since that first-round pick, so that is good as well. Now on to, and this confused me a little bit, but this is our third, fourth rounder. This is the fourth rounder we picked up from the Seahawks trade. So looking here, we are going to have a couple different options. I think this is maybe where we can solve our guard issue. There's a couple left guards here, which we're kind of looking for a backup right guard, or actually, you know what, even halfback. And here is Marquise Forston. There's only two really good power halfbacks left on here. It's this guy and a 7th rounder. So I kind of figure here in the 4th round, perfect opportunity to try and grab a halfback. And he's going to be okay, 85th in true talent, which isn't awful. 85 speed, 82 acceleration, 85 carry, which is good. 90 trucking, 88 stiff arm. Those are the two attributes I'm looking for in a power back. So not the greatest overall rating, but still I think he's going to work. We'll see how he does in the preseason. Giving him a lot of work. He's got a couple guys to beat out, but we'll see what happens there. Now into the 5th round, and here is where we're still looking for that offensive line, but here is an outside linebacker, and at this point in the draft, you're kind of just looking for the best available. I didn't have a lot of outside linebackers on my watch list, so I figure why not take a chance on this guy. 90th in true talent. He's a 70 overall. Not bad, actually. 80 tackle, 81 hit power, 80 pursuit, 85 power moves. So he's a 3-4 pass rusher. Looks that way, so that might be some nice depth there at outside linebacker. Get a little bit younger there, as we did move Sam Acho over to left outside linebacker, but he's getting older, so maybe he can step in there and provide some help on that one. Now into the last pick of the 5th round, or second to last pick of the 5th round, and this is all we have left on our watch list. And there is a left guard there. We've kind of filled all the other issues. Corner, halfback, safety, don't need it. So here's the last guard, and I kind of just have to take him at this point because I would like to get another backup, a better backup at guard. And look at this. He's a 73, 32 overall in true talent. What a nice pick. How the heck did he drop this far? 76, 79 for his blocking, and I'm actually probably going to end up moving him over to right guard to be the backup for Kyle Long. So very, very good. Nice pick there. And now we move on. Final pick of the draft. And at this point, there was no one really left. So I realized we still need to try and get a returner. So I jump at this Lakeem Richmond guy because he was fast and he actually doesn't look that great. 92 speed, 94 acceleration isn't bad, 76 catching, but the rest of his stuff, 296 in true talent, so not great. So there is the end of the draft. Now let's take a look at the damage that we have done. 81-76, beautiful start to the draft. We kind of go down a little bit there with some 69s, the 69 strong safety, 69 left tackle, and then a 68 halfback. We're still, though, I'm not too worried about the overall for Forston because it's the individual attributes I really care about in terms of him being a power back. Then we go 70, 73, and then 64. So really the biggest miss is going to be that wide receiver, but we didn't scout him. It was just kind of a reach there. And now looking around the league, the Bengals do something a little bit weird. They go wide receiver 3 times in the first 2 rounds, 76, 69, 66. I don't really get that. The Browns had not a great draft, and look at this. They actually go 65, 64, 65. The end of their draft is better. They go 72, 71 in their last 2 picks, 68, 68. Just kind of a weird draft for the Browns. Buccaneers, there is that other center. He was a 75, and I think I looked and he was only a normal development, so our guy is way, way better. So we lucked out there. We really could have screwed ourselves on that pick. Dolphins had a very nice draft. They go 78, 76, 71, 75, but they do kind of hurt themselves because those 2 guys at the end were free safeties, so obviously they can't play at the same time. The Falcons had 3 picks, and their draft was awful. They got a quarterback, but then 59, 68 for their next 2 picks, and they took 2 quarterbacks back-to-back. That doesn't make any sense. 49ers, there's the number 1 overall pick, DeMarco Stanley. He's only a 77, and he's only a normal development. He's not fast either, 84 speed, so looks like that is a miss for the 49ers. The Lions here, looking at our division, they had a pretty good draft, 80 for that free safety, 74-70, 68-72, not bad at all. Packers as well, not many picks, but not a bad draft. They go 75 with the middle linebacker. They do take 2 middle linebackers, a wide receiver and a tight end, so not a lot of picks there. And then the Vikings also have a pretty good draft, 76 at the top for the right tackle. They go back-to-back with right tackle. They get a halfback, a strong safety, fullback, tight end, all those 3 over 70. And I think the only other team with a weird draft, the Steelers, like the Bengals, they took 3 right ends back-to-back to start the draft. Some of the decisions that the CPU teams make kind of are a little bit troublesome. I thought that was something they had maybe fixed for Madden 17. They were supposed to have fixed, but still, you see some odd things. But for the most part, the teams try to address their needs, and we have addressed our needs. I feel like we just had an absolutely, maybe not as good of a draft as last year. Our draft last year, maybe the best draft I have ever had in a Madden game. That one was unbelievable. We filled multiple holes last year. But this year, this might have been the best player we have drafted so far in this franchise. An 81 center with a superstar development. Well, actually, I guess Dudley is a better prospect, a better rated prospect. He's already up to 87, 88 overall. But in terms of our offensive line, that has struggled in our 2 seasons. Getting a center like that, pairing him with Collins, the left guard that we signed in free agency, our offensive line might be now one of the better offensive lines in the NFC, if not the entire league. So I am really looking forward to Melvin Gordon tearing apart some defenses next year. But our team, absolutely, as we get now into the preseason, we're done with the offseason, I think our team absolutely has gotten better. And I think that this coming year, it's not just going to be a fluke. Last year, maybe it was a little bit of a fluke going 13-3. I don't think it's going to be this year. I think we are set up to be a very, very good football team. And hopefully we can do some major damage. But next up, we get into the preseason. We're going to be going through the preseason. I'm going to sign a bunch of guys to fill our roster. I'll show you the signings I make before we do week 1 of the preseason. But then we're in season 3, already in season 3 of this franchise. Hopefully, maybe we can make a deep run of the playoffs this year, but we'll see that process. We'll go through the preseason, get into the regular season, and then make our way through another year in this Bears franchise. So that's going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed the draft, go ahead and don't forget to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you want to see any future videos that I make. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.